Like many of you, I'm a big fan of the DJI Mini 3 Pro. I've been flying this thing a lot since I first bought it a couple of months ago, and I've been having a grand time with it. Now, out of the box, you get your bare bones package. You get the drone itself, along with a single battery and the charging cable and the controller, and that's about it. However, I'm sure it will come as no shock to any of you that you can also purchase some first-party or third-party optional accessories for this thing to theoretically enhance your flying experience. But let's go through some of the ones I've been checking out and see what I think are worth it and what maybe are more gimmicky than anything else. Now, of course, we can't talk about accessories for the DJI Mini 3 Pro without talking about this. This is the Fly More Combo Kit, and this is provided by DJI themselves. Yes, you get a travel case, of course, which you don't get with the DJI Mini 3 Pro as standard, but the number one thing you get with the Fly More Combo Kit is this: 2 additional batteries, along with the charging hub to charge all 3 of your batteries. 1 battery just so often is not going to be enough, especially once you've taken your drone out with you and you've got it into the air. The last thing you want to do is be running out of juice and then not be able to capture the footage or the shots you want to get, because you're going to have to take the whole thing back in order to charge it up again. So talking about the travel bag that comes with the Fly More Combo Kit, you know, it's fine. It does its job, but it is quite flimsy. There's very little in the way of protection here, and the space inside is somewhat limited. You have got enough, of course, for your drone, the controller, and the 3 batteries. And you do have this little pocket up the top which can store your cables, but it's really the bare minimum, this is, okay? Here I have what I call a semi-hard case from Skyreach. This is a third-party accessory, and it has a handle on the top and also the shoulder strap as well. This case is what I would consider to be the sort of middle point between those rock hard, heavy protective cases and the Fly More Combo bag, okay? This is still going to provide more protection than the DJI case, but it's also not too heavy either. And you do get more space, okay? So you're going to be able to store your drone, you're going to be able to store your batteries and the battery charger as well. You're also going to be able to store the controller. And a little tip: with this case, you can turn the controller upside down in the bag, and that way you're just going to protect the screen as you're moving things in and out. In case you accidentally drop something on the controller, at least that screen will be facing the other way. And of course, because this case is bigger than the DJI bag, the pouch that is included, which also has a zip so things aren't going to fall out, is going to allow you to store more optional accessories that you may want to bring with you on your trip. And honestly, guys, you know, the quality of this thing is more than adequate. It really is. And it is waterproof as well once it's zipped up, just in case you find yourself out in the rain. I don't believe the DJI bag is itself waterproof, so might be another reason to consider upgrading that. And folks, if you are enjoying the video, please do remember to subscribe to be notified of future Mini 3 Pro content. And the next accessory I really want to speak to you guys about and recommend to you are a good set of ND filters. So here I have a set from Skyreach. The ND32 is currently attached to my drone. And one of the great things about the Mini 3 Pro is it is hugely improved over the Mini 2 in terms of how you can connect and disconnect these filters. On the Mini 2, there was no real way to do this, and manufacturers had to sort of skirt around it by having these fiddly little hooks on the filters themselves. Well, DJI have thought of that, and now with the Mini 3 Pro, it is a very simple process of just disconnecting the main lens cover from the drone itself and then connecting an ND filter in its place, just with a quick turning mechanism. Again, very, very simple. And an ND filter is going to give you more options when it comes to shooting your footage. Okay, now you may know that with an ND filter, you're going to be able to capture that more cinematic motion blur by really reducing that shutter speed. And that's going to be particularly beneficial if you're doing low altitude flying and you're going to be a little bit closer to the ground. Then you're going to be able to capture some great effects. And also, if you have reflective surfaces such as water in your shots, then that's going to come through much better with an ND filter in place. And one of the main reasons I love ND filters is their ability to really enhance your hyperlapse shots. Now, I have mentioned before that the hyperlapse feature on the Mini 3 Pro, it is one of my favorite features that is included with this drone. I absolutely love it. You can really get some wonderful and beautiful cinematic footage with the hyperlapse. But the thing with the hyperlapse, because you're taking 10, 12 minutes maybe of video and then compressing that down to just a few seconds, any automatic changes in exposure are really going to ruin that effect. Now, yes, you can use manual settings without an ND filter with the Mini 3 Pro, but in my opinion, you're much better off combining those two things together, the manual settings, with a correct ND filter. And this particular Skyreach pack comes with 6 filters, and they range from ND8 up until ND128, which is, a nice range and will be absolutely sufficient depending on the type of flying that you're engaging in, whether it's a really bright day or a little bit more overcast as it is for me today. And honestly, folks, I really do believe that a good set of ND filters should be part and parcel of any accessory package that us pilots are carrying around with our Mini 3 Pros. Now, something, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a little bit disappointed about that DJI didn't include one of these either with the Mini 3 Pro as standard or with the Fly More combo kit, and that is a prop strap. Honestly, guys, you could put forward an argument that you don't really need a prop strap with the Mini 3 Pro. They kind of, fit nicely into position here at the bottom of the drone, and the other 2 props sort of just go onto the top there, but they do move about still, okay? It's not perfect, this system that DJI have got set up here. And when you're moving your drone in and out of your bag, whatever that may be, it's very easy, and I've done it myself a few times, to get these to catch either on the outside of the bag or in the zip if you haven't noticed, and you can easily yank on these and do some damage to the props and have to replace them. And honestly, I do think that DJI skimped out a little bit there. So I've got this here. This is a prop strap from Skyreach, and it's such a simple thing, and it feels really good quality as well, and it's so easy to use. And once that's in place, those props, they're not going anywhere. They're not going to snag on anything. They're not going to get caught. You're not going to be doing any damage. And honestly, for a few pounds, I think this is a worthy investment. A prop strap may be one of those accessories that at first glance could appear to be a little bit gimmicky, but in my opinion, they are actually really, really useful. However, one accessory that I do think is gimmicky, and I would advise you guys not to really get tempted by, is landing gear. Now, okay, this thing is very, very cheap. And in all honesty, it does what it's supposed to do, and it does it well. It's very easy to use. You clip it to the bottom of your drone, and yeah, it just lifts the whole thing from the ground by an extra, 1.5 to 2 inches, and it just helps you when you're starting the props. Perhaps the drone is on a little bit of a longer grass, and it's just going to stop the props from getting caught, and also when you're landing the drone, then they're not going to get caught as easily. But honestly, there's a huge drawback to using a piece of landing gear, and that is it's going to be included in the maximum takeoff weight of your drone, since obviously it's going to stay part of the drone as it's flying through the air. And what that means is that you're going to be pushing your Mini 3 Pro over the 250 gram limit. So yeah, in some countries that means you're going to have to register the Mini 3 Pro if you use landing gear such as this. Here in the UK, it means you're not going to be able to fly in as many locations. You won't be able to fly in the A1 subcategory, which means you cannot fly in residential or commercial areas. You're just going to be limiting yourself so much just by using this little bit of plastic, which actually weighs 13 grams. Since the Mini 3 Pro without landing gear attached already weighs 248 grams, yeah, do the math. Unfortunately, this just doesn't work in my opinion. If you definitely want to get an accessory that's going to help with your landings and your takeoffs, then I'm going to recommend just getting a landing pad. They're about the same price. So here's my landing pad. I got this about 18 months ago, and it's lasted me. It's done very, very well. Okay, it's not as portable as the little bit of landing gear I just showed you, but it still folds up. And in my opinion, it does a great job because you can put this pretty much anywhere. You can put it on the snow, you can put it on long grass, and the drone is just going to sit nicely on top there. You even have, you know, a double side so you can choose which colour is going to be more visible depending on your current weather conditions. But honestly folks, I would not recommend getting landing gear. What's the point, seriously, in making your Mini 3 Pro only be able to fly in areas where you could normally only fly DJI's larger drones? You may as well just invest in one of those instead. But yeah, landing pad, definitely a solution if that's an issue you're facing. And another accessory I would definitely recommend for those of you that have the Mini 3 Pro with the RC controller is one of these. This is a protective screen, and once applied to your RC controller, you're just going to protect the screen there from scratches or any potential damage that could otherwise occur. Now, of course, these things are not absolutely rock solid. If you drop your controller onto a stone, it's probably going to crack the screen. But for that additional layer of protection, then there's really no reason not to go for something like this, and it doesn't interfere with the touch control of the screen itself. I've got my protective screen attached, and yeah, it's just as responsive as it was without. And finally folks, you definitely want a fast USB charger. Trying to charge the Mini 3 Pro batteries, even if you only have the one, without one of these is going to be a headache inducing event because it will take you hours. Okay, before I had a fast charger, I thought there was something wrong with my Mini 3 Pro's battery, the one that came out of the box, because I was charging it literally, I think it was for all day, and it still wasn't at max. This is an Anker fast charger, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't do the job. Okay, it will charge the batteries, but it will charge them as if it is not a fast charger. I don't know why that is. However, this is a slightly newer model, also by Anker, and this is perfectly up to the task. So I will leave a link to all of these accessories that I'm using down in the description if you want to, you know, get the same ones that I am, because you know they're going to be up to the job. But yeah, definitely would recommend a fast charger to go with your Mini 3 Pro. And this is quite a small one as well, so you can carry it around in your bag. So folks, thank you so much for stopping by as I've shown off a few accessories here today for the Mini 3 Pro. Some of them perhaps more useful than others, but I hope this video has been helpful to you guys regardless. So please do share your thoughts down in the comments below. What accessories do you use for your Mini 3 Pro, and what would you recommend that others may want to look into? Or perhaps you purchased an accessory that didn't live up to the hype you expected, and so now it's just sitting there gathering dust. Yeah, please do share your experiences. My name's Simon, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you next time. Bye folks.